लर्नर्स, आप सबका वापस स्वागत है आपके फेवरेट चैनल कानून सीखो पे। अभी तक हमने एविडेंस में उसका इंट्रोडक्शन, दूसरे लेक्चर में सेक्शन 3 जो इंटरप्रिटेशन क्लॉज है, सेक्शन 4, और उसके बाद वीडियो 3 में हमने सेक्शन 5 और सेक्शन 6 जो रेस जेस्टे के डॉक्ट्रिन को इनकॉर्पोरेट करता है उसको देखा। इस बार हम वीडियो 4 में सेक्शन 7 और सेक्शन 8 के में डिस्कस करेंगे। सेक्शन 7 जो ओकेजन, कॉज और इफेक्ट की बात करता है, और सेक्शन 8 जो मोटिव, प्रिपरेशन और कंडक्ट के बारे में बात करता है। आज हम उसको देखेंगे। शुरुआत करते हैं सेक्शन 7 से। When we analyze section 7, we find that it deals with 5 words: occasion, cause, effect, state of things, and opportunity. First word, occasion. Occasion is an instance which is provided by the victim himself. It invites or incites the fact and issue to happen. Like in Richardson case, which we analyzed in the previous lecture, whose description is provided above. In that case, the absence of parents from the house gave an occasion to Richardson to come and kill the girl. Illustration A of section 7 deals with this. Second is cause. Cause is any reason for the fact and issue to happen. In Indian Airlines versus Madhuri Chaudhary, court held that report of an inquiry of a crash is relevant as it gives a cause of the fact and issue to happen. Third is effect. Effect is the result of the fact and issue, like footprints, fingerprints, possession of stolen goods. Illustration B of section 7 deals with this. Fourth word is state of things. State of things is the previous knowledge of the arrangement of the things. Like illustration C of section 7 deals with it. And in Rutten versus Queen, the previous knowledge of estranged relationship between husband and wife was considered relevant. The fifth word, opportunity. This is an instance which is searched by the accused himself. Like, take for an example, A is hiding behind a bush at a dark night to rob B. As soon as the street lights turn off because of power cut, A grabs this opportunity and robs B. This is opportunity. Then there is one more word, otherwise, in section 7, which means implied cause of the event. Now moving on to section 8. Section 8 first deals with motive. In Kehar Singh versus Delhi administration, court have said that motive is a mental state which instigates, abates, or excites any person to do any act. To understand this, we shall see a leading case law of R versus Palmer. In R versus Palmer, two classmates were living together in a room. One of the friends has given loan to the other friend, and they used to play and go for horse riding. One of the nights, the friend which has taken the loan was found dead, and in the investigation the other friend was held guilty of murder, and the court has held that the giving of loan and persistent asking of money back by the friend was held to be the motive for the murder. Illustration A and B of section 8 deals with motive. Moving on, the second is preparation. Preparation is the stage at which we procure or make the playing ground for doing the event. Like in R versus Palmer, the purchasing of poison by the culprit was held relevant as it is part of preparation. Generally, preparation is not relevant if the fact and issue does not happen. To understand motive and preparation better, check out the video by Arpit sir in whose link is given above. Next is conduct. To understand conduct, we need to answer three questions. First is which conduct, second is whose conduct it is to be seen, and when conduct is happening to become relevant. The answer to first question, whose conduct, is in civil cases the conduct of plaintiff and defendant, and in criminal cases the conduct of the victim and the accused. Then which conduct? Conduct which influences or is influenced by the fact and issue or relevant fact is relevant. And the third is whence conduct. If all the previous conditions are fulfilled, then the conduct which is previous or subsequent to the event is relevant. The general doctrine incorporated under section 8 is that statements is not included as conduct. That means conduct does not include statement. But the two explanations given under section 8 gives the two exceptions to this general doctrine. The first exception is that conduct does not include statement unless until it accompany or explain the act as provided under illustrations J and K. In R versus Lillman, court held that complaint is relevant as conduct if it is not legal or not technical, but in the natural event of the fact and issue. Then the second exception is that if the statement is made in the presence and hearing of the accused and the statement affects his conduct, then that statement is relevant as conduct as provided under illustrations F, G and H. To understand conduct more better, we shall see the leading case law of Queen versus Abdullah. In Queen Empress versus Abdullah, a girl named Dulari was found half conscious because her throat was cut. After that, she was taken to the hospital. In the hospital, the investigating officer and the executive magistrates put forward before her many names and the accused for the crimes. She reacted to no one's name except Abdullah, and after that she died. In the court proceedings, Lord Petram denied this conduct to be relevant under section 8, rather considered as a dying declaration under section 32 subsection 1. Lord Mahmood, getting disappointed by this judgment, gave a dissenting opinion and said that section 32 specifically deals with statements and not conduct. But under this case, the questioning by the executive magistrate and the investigating officer and the showing of hand and giving a positive reaction should be considered as conduct under section 8 and not as statement under section 32 as a dying declaration. So learners, now we come to the end of video 4, and I hope that you have understood section 7 and section 8 of Indian Evidence Act. I hope that your preparations are going well as Bihar judiciary dates are out, and so all the best for your exams, and please like, comment, share and subscribe to our channel. Namaste.